Hey guys, so yeah, I've just woke up again. I just thought I'd do an update video on the disabled persons bus pass. Because I went in there the other day to the council offices, and I got the form. And at first it was like, yeah, you got everything you need, because I had my, because I took every bit of paper that I thought I might need possible, because you know what it's like with these places. You take your ID, you take like one letter, the one like award letter, and then they say, oh sorry, no, you need like 3 forms of ID, you need 2 bits of these paperwork or whatever, you know. So a good tip is gather any paperwork that you think might be useful. So any benefit award letters, your birth certificate, your national insurance card, because they do ask for that on these forms. So make sure you have that. Yeah, and so yeah, I took all that in, and they said, yeah, perfect, you'll be able to get the bus pass. You're already on the system anyway, so we can just print you a new one. But I said to them, that's great, but what about the disabled person's pass? Not the disabled person, sorry, I'm still half asleep. I said to them, what about the carer's pass? And they said, it should give you the information on the back of the form and just tick that box. So we were like, hey, it's that easy, just tick the box and they'll put the carer's pass on it, that's great. So we were filling out the form, and then we went to the tick boxes on the back of the form, read that information, and it says you need your PIP or DLA award letter, which I had. I was like, yeah, great, got that. You need your blind person's card, which is the little white card, which used to be the yellow card that I talked about in the previous video about this, which I was like, yeah, great, I've got that too. And then it said about you need a letter from your doctor confirming that you need someone on the bus with you for medical reasons, or to help you for support and whatnot, which I did not have. And that's where we got stumped, because I didn't know you needed that. I thought having PIP, because originally that's what it was, you needed the PIP to get it. You didn't have to get a letter from the doctor, but they've changed that now, which they keep doing. That's something that really annoys me with the benefit system, and also the health and social care system and support systems in place for disabled people and stuff. Every time we have a change of government, these new people in government start changing rules and regulations and stuff like that, which then that does affect the benefit system, that affects health and social care systems. And every couple of years, what is it like? I think there's a vote every 4 years or something, isn't it? I'm very good with politics, so I don't really understand it much. But I do know every so many years we get someone new in, or we get a new government who comes along and says, right, we're going to change this, we don't like that, we want it this way, not that way. which doesn't help disabled people because we get used to it working one way, and then all of a sudden it changes again, and we've got to get used to a whole new system. And like, really, really confusing, really annoying. But yeah, I have the forms here. I'm not going to show you the front of this form because I've already filled it out with my details and I don't want the internet knowing my details. But yes, the front of the form, it's cool. I have the Smartseas renewal form. So if you're going to get a Smartseas for bus pass card for the first time, you will have a different form, which I believe they might have changed it now. They probably have. I believe it might be in the form of a leaflet, and I believe it was blue. But you can get that form online as well if that's easier, or just go into your local council office and ask for the Smart Cities bus pass card. Also, this one, the Southampton one, has the Itchen toll bridge thing on it as well, exemption, and has a get active thing. So if you tick those boxes for those items, if you drive and you go through the Itchen Bridge toll bridge, you won't have to pay, you just scan your card, which makes life easier and cheaper, I suppose. And the get active thing, it's like a little pass you can use to get discounts in places like Southampton swimming pools, the gym, stuff like that. Any leisure activities and stuff like that, you can use that to get a discount in places like that, which is really handy. But yeah, so mine's the renewal form. I'm not going to show you the front of it, but basically the front of it, you just put in your details, so your name, your date of birth, your address, phone number, email, and your national insurance card. And if it's a renewal, you will have to put in your Smart Cities account number, which will be on your Smart Cities bus card, bus pass. So yeah, but that's all. That's what's on the front. But I want to show you the back. I don't know how well you can see that. Might be backwards a little bit, but there are tick boxes. So you have to find the right one that applies to you and tick it. So the one I would be ticking is the one I need to tick, is the the companion pass. So there's quite a few tick boxes for the companion pass. So I believe that's the correct, that's the correct bit. So all them tick boxes are for the companion pass, so I need to tick the correct one for me. So the correct one for me would be a letter from Department of Work and Pensions confirming currently being in receipt of personal independence payments at 8 points or above against either the PIP, moving around and or communicating verbally, activities, or 12 points against the planning and following journey activities. So I have full points on all of that with my PIP, so that is great. I have that one, so that one is ticked. And then my next one that is ticked, a registration card confirming being registered as blind, partially sighted, or deaf, or evidence that you are without speech. So that's a little white card. That used to be the yellow card that I talked about in the previous video. So I have that, that's great. And then I also need to tick I don't need to tick the war pensions. I've not been to war and I'm not old enough for a pension, so I do not, although I feel like I'm old enough for a pension. But yeah, I do not need to tick that one. Where is it? There we go. And it says, and also a letter from a medical practitioner confirming that you are unable to travel alone on a bus or for medical reasons. That one now, if you can see that. So yeah, and the guy that was helping me and John with the form, he was very helpful and everything like that. There's also information on here about blue badges and stuff like that. I don't have a blue badge, although I'm told I can get one, whether I drive or not, whether I have a car or not. But I don't see the point because I don't have a car. I don't have family members close to me with cars that ferry me or taxi me around, so I don't see the point of getting a blue badge, you know. The blue badge, if people don't know, that will help disabled people. You display it in your car or in whatever car you are journeying in, I suppose, and you display it when you park, so you can use the disabled parking, so you don't get ticketed. But yeah, that system is abused a lot, so I don't want to abuse it anymore. I don't need it. I don't have a car, so I'm not gonna get that. But if you're a disabled person who has a car in your family and you use a car a lot to get around, yeah, go for a blue badge. Go into your local council office, asking there about the information, and they should help you with it, or you can apply for it online if that's easier. But yeah, so the guy in there that helped with the form, he was very helpful, and he was like, yep, here's the form you need, give this to your doctor. So I've not filled any of this in because this is for my doctor to fill in, and yeah, like, my doctor's got a lot of stuff to fill in. Some doctors, most doctors, will charge you for stuff like this, for filling in forms. I think it's roughly around, I think it depends really. I think probably different doctors charge different rates. So I think £15 to £35 maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I'll probably get charged for this. Which in one way I don't mind, because it's going to help me get my bus pass renewed and get the carer's pass. So then I will have that, and then next time it expires I can just do the renewal form, and I won't need to get one of these because they will already have it on file. So it will make life a lot easier. But yeah, so this is a medical evidence of qualification for a concessionary bus pass. So yeah, the doctor's got to fill this in, and it's got information on there about who's eligible and who's not. I'll read this out actually, because this might be helpful to some of you. You'll have to forgive me, my readings are going to be a bit slow and a bit I've just woke up and my cognitive abilities are not functioning, so I have tea. I didn't have tea yesterday morning. The tea helps me wake up. So yeah, I didn't have tea yesterday morning because some issues happened with my abusive neighbour, and I had to call the police, and then for the rest of the day I was too scared to use my kitchen, so I couldn't make my morning cup of tea, you know, so, but yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracted. I'm supposed to be reading this out. So the medical evidence form thingy for the bus pass. For eligible disabled Southampton City Council residents under bus pass qualification, age to be signed and stamped by qualified health professionals such as specialist, nurse, district nurse, or other health professionals who have treated the applicant and who can make a judgment about their degree of disability. The applicant must meet any fees applicable. Applicants could not use this form and provide the alternative evidence if they, the language they use is a bit confusing to me sometimes, so let me just try and figure out, because that confused me a little bit. The applicants should not use this form and provide the alternative evidence if they... Okay, so if I have this evidence listed below, I do not need this form. That's what that's saying to me. Applicants should not use this form and provide the alternative evidence if they... Yeah. Am I wrong there? It's a bit, the language is a bit confusing. So I take that to mean I do not need this form because I already have evidence. Right, let's see what the evidence is. Are registered as blind, severely sighted, impaired. Okay, I'm not registered as blind or severely sight impaired. I'm partially sighted. That's what it says on my blind card. Even though now, with the changes in my eyesight, I'm probably more severely partially sighted, but the language on my white card says partially sighted. So I've got to get that updated, but to get that updated I need the eye hospital to pull their finger out of their bottoms and get on with figuring out what the issue is with my eyes. But yeah, so the next bit, it says are registered as partially sighted, sight impaired. Okay, so yeah, I have that evidence. Can provide a certificate of vision impairment, a CVI. I believe that would be the white card. So yes, I have that. Are registered as deaf. No, I'm not deaf, but I do have selective hearing sometimes. If I don't want to hear you, I'm not gonna. No, I'm joking. are in receipt of higher rate of mobility component of disability living allowance, or have been awarded at least 8 points against either the personal independence allowance, so PIP, moving around and or communicating verbally activities. Yes, I have the PIP full 8 points on all of that, so yeah. See, again, they've changed it, some of this, so yes, you do need high rate. But to get the form, you don't need high rate originally, unless they've changed that again. If you're a new applicant and you have the white card, you can just get it on solely on that, because I did. That's what I got it based on, because at the time I did not have PIP. So I got my bus pass solely based on the white blind card, the white, yeah, so. But then this is for the companion pass, so it might be a little different for that. See, it's a very confusing system, and once you figure it out, they're going to change it again. So yeah, I have the full 8 points on the PIP. Are in receipt of war pensioners mobility supplement. No, don't need that. I've not been to war. I'm not old enough to be a pensioner. Can provide evidence from Southampton Day Services or Southampton Learning Disabilities team to confirm that they have a learning disability. No, I don't go to day services, and Southampton Learning Disabilities team, not being funny, but it's kind of a exclusive club. I know I sound a bit narky when I say that, but it is. I've tried to get help from them, and they tell me, sorry, we can't help you, you're physically disabled. And I'm like, no, but I'm also learning disabled and mentally disabled. But they're like, you don't seem it, you seem very good at communicating. Yes, that's because I'm also very good at masking. I am able to talk to professionals. It is learned behaviour. I'm able to talk to doctors. I'm able to talk to social workers. It is learned behaviour I have needed to learn so that I can get the correct help and support I need, you know? And I have to mask through the whole experience, which is exhausting. So, yeah, unless I hate to sound crass and a bit offensive here, but unless I'm dribbling on myself and mumbling and stimming like a mad woman, they're not gonna help me. You know, I have to. Yeah, I have to play it up with the learning disabled side and mental disabled side to get help from them, and I'm not willing to do that, you know, because not every learning disabled person is like that. Some come across as complete like they don't have learning disabilities, you know. So yeah, I'm distracted again. Right, and the last one, can provide a recent dated letter from the DVLA, so the licensed people, driving licence people, confirming that they have been refused a driving licence or on medical grounds and will be unable to drive for at least 12 months. I don't have that. I've never tried to get a driving licence because I know I can't drive because of my sight issues. And because I get confused with road signs because of my learning difficulties and stuff. Like, I struggle crossing the road, so driving a car, no, that's not. Yeah, that's not a good idea. So yeah, I have a lot of that evidence already. So I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I have at least 3 bits of those evidence. And on the form for the bus pass, it says I need to provide 2 forms of the evidence. So I have 3 here. And it says here, applicants should not use this form and provide the alternative evidence if they have these. And I have 3 of them. So why do I need this? Let's read what this says. Right, you will need, the PIP award letter, got that. A registration card confirming registered blind or partially sighted, got that. And also a letter from a medical practitioner confirming that you are unable to travel alone on bus for medical reasons. So it's basically saying you will need one of these, you will need these or this. So I have the 2 forms of evidence that is needed, but then it's saying also a letter from your doctor. So I don't know if the language isn't very clear. To me anyway, other people might understand it. It's unclear to me. So I don't know whether you can just do it with the 2 forms of evidence, such as the PIP award letter and the blind registration card. You probably could, because there's nothing on here saying no, you do need this 3rd piece, you do need. It just says and also. So it's very confusing. But I'm gonna get this doctor's one filled out anyway. So then I have all forms of evidence that this form has on it, apart from the war pension thing. But I have all of the forms of evidence that are applicable to me then. So then they can't say, no, you don't have this bit of paper, you can't do it, when I go in next time. But I'm betting I go in next time and they'll say, no, you didn't need this letter you didn't need this form from the doctor. You didn't need this. You could have done it solely on your blind card. I bet you that's what they're going to tell me. And I would have paid God knows how much to get this filled in by my doctor, because they said, nah, you need that. Sort the system out, Southampton. Come on, this is ridiculous. But yeah, it's quite a big form as well. So there's tick boxes for the doctor to fill in. Let's see what this is. Right. Okay, details. So applicant's name, applicant's details. Are you currently in receipt of any rate of disability living allowance or personal independence payments? Yes. If yes, copy of your current award letter. Yeah, that's one thing. Make copies of your evidence, your award letter, for benefits and stuff like that, because they will need to take it for the Smart Cities card, and if you have copies, they can put it on record with your Smart Cities. So when you go to renew it, when it expires, they already have all that information and they go, right, yeah, here you go, and they just print you a new one. Okay, so copies, always make copies. I'm just going to have a look at some of this information the doctor's got to fill in. Oh, I see. So part A, to be completed by the applicant. So I have to fill in the first part of the form. Okay. Part B, to be completed by qualified medical professional. Please see attached government guidance on eligible disabilities for further information on each category. Okay. Category A, is the applicant blind, severely sight impaired? No. Category A, is the applicant partially sighted? Yes. Category B, is the applicant severely deaf? Hearing loss must reach, I don't know what that is, load numbers, but no, I'm not deaf. Category B, is the applicant profoundly deaf? Oh, I think the numbers are like different levels of hearing loss. Okay, cool. But no, I'm not profoundly deaf either. Category C, is the applicant without speech in any language? See, that's a difficult one, because I do suffer with selective mutism. So in certain settings, when my anxiety is playing up and when there's too much going on, I can go mute. But I'm not completely without speech, obviously, because I'm talking now. So no, I don't think that one would be applicable to me. Does the applicant have long-term substantial disability, which means they cannot walk or which makes walking very difficult? Yes, that applies to me. And then it's got guidelines here. Okay, what's this guide say? As a guide, in order to qualify, the applicant should be unable to walk up to 64 meters without severe discomfort, even when using an artificial aid, or it would take the applicant 5 minutes or more to walk 100 meters. The applicant would also qualify if the exertion required to walk consisted a danger to the applicant's life or be likely to lead to a serious deterioration in their health. Please see page 5 and 6, category D, for further guidance in the category. So yeah, that'll be a yes. I cannot walk that far. Right. Is the applicant without arms or has long-term loss of the use of both arms? I have arms, so that'll be a no. Does the applicant have a learning disability that is a state of arrested? Am I reading that right? Does the applicant have learning disability that is a state of arrested or incomplete development of the mind, which includes significant impairment of intelligence and social functioning, in order to qualify the applicant's disability must have started before adulthood and have a lasting effect upon development. They should qualify for specialist services and may have had a special educational provision. That's kind of a yes, because when I was a kid at school, I did have all of that specialist help, specialist provisions, because I was special, apparently. No offence. I know some people don't like to be... I'm referring to myself when I call myself special, not anyone else, so please don't be offended. But yeah. So yeah, the doctor's just got to fill out, I'm not going to read all of this. Severe anxiety, depression with significant memory or concentration problems. Yes. Acute psychotic disorder, no. Hypomania or mania, no. Schizophrenia or other chronic psychosis, no. Liability to sudden attacks of giddiness or fainting, yes. Whether as a result of cardiac disorder or otherwise, yes, that would be a yes. But yeah, I'm going to start reading this now, because they're like pages, just pages and pages and pages. So yeah, this will definitely help. So I gotta feel the first part in myself, and then I've got to go hand this in to the doctor. And probably might do that today, if not tomorrow. It might have to be tomorrow because I am waiting for a delivery. So, but yeah, in the next few days I'm going to hand this in and let the doctors, get them to fill it out. They might take a day or two to do that. And then I can, once I get that back from them, I can then go make copies, or they will make copies at the council office if I ask them, of my evidence. So the PIP award forms. We also have, John also has his carers allowance award form, which I thought that's what you would need for the carers pass. But no, apparently not. You need the PIP, which doesn't make sense, because I think it should be the carers allowance award form. You know, if you're a carer and you want to get a carers pass, because it comes as one pass. The carers pass is on the disabled person's bus passes. Basically, they just add a little logo to say it is also a carers pass as well. But yeah, to get that, I think it should be, you need the carers allowance award letter, you know, to prove that you're in receipt of carer's allowance. You shouldn't need the PIP form, because I've already provided, you know, most people would already have to provide the PIP form to get the bus pass to start with. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So they need to sort this whole system out. So yeah, that's an update on what's happening with that. I thought I'd better update it because some of the issues you may face, you know, because sometimes it's that easy. You'll go in, it depends who you speak to, you'll go in and be like, I need this, I have this form of evidence, and they go, yeah, that's perfectly fine, here you go, fill it out, done, done, done. And then other times it's like, hang on, yes, but you also need this form of evidence and that form of evidence, you know. So there are bumps in the road, and I've hit a few of these bumps. So I thought I'd share that. So if you're trying to get the bus pass and you come across these bumps, you know what to do, you know what sort of things to look out for, and stuff, you know. Because this whole system is messed up. It's so confusing. And they change it every couple of years, which makes it even more confusing, because you get used to one system and you're like, yes, I'm used to it, I know what I'm doing with it now, and then all of a sudden they change it on you and you're like, crap, what do I do now? You know. So I mean, I think non-disabled people, non-learning disabled people probably get confused with the system as well, as much as us disabled people do. But the problem is, with us disabled people, if we do not have the support in place to help us with things like this, then we kind of get stuck, you know, which I don't have the correct support. I do not have a support worker because apparently I'm not entitled to one. But my partner, who is less, I hate to use the term less disabled, but it's the easiest way to describe it. He is less disabled than me, but he is fully entitled to a support worker, which confuses me, you know. Like, I have physical disabilities, mental disabilities, learning disabilities. I tick all the boxes, but yet they're like, nah, sorry, you're not disabled enough. How is it that I'm not disabled enough, but my less disabled partner is disabled enough? You know? And I think partly it's my own fault, because I am so good at communicating with the professionals, that they're kind of like, you're very good at communicating, you're using big long words, you can't be disabled, we can't help you. You know, so I feel like I do have to go in there and dribble on myself and mumble and make silly noises, you know. That's what I feel like I have to do in order to get their help, which is stupid, you know. I shouldn't have to do that. No one should have to do that. We should be able to go in there and say, look, I need help with this, I'm disabled, I struggle, and they should do it whether I show intelligence or not, you know. Because you can be learning disabled and intelligent, you know. Who'd have thought it? You can be learning disabled and intelligent. I am learning disabled and intelligent. Every learning disabled person is intelligent. Every human being is intelligent. We just show our intelligence in different ways we have different skill sets, we have different processes on working our intelligence, if that makes sense, you know. So to base this whole system of support workers and support for disabled people on how intelligent they seem is stupid. It is stupid. We need to stop doing that. Because my learning disabilities are dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia. Yes, I've got all three because I'm very lucky, apparently. So, and then also I have some learning and mental disabilities that come along with my autism, such as the sensory processing, stuff like that. So basically, with all of these learning disabilities working together, I can get confused very easy. So forms and stuff, I am terrible at forms because the wording, I get confused. I'm like, ugh. You know, so I always need to get help to fill in forms so that I can understand it correctly. My spelling, without spell check, there's no hope. You know, whereas people always say to me online, you can't have issues with spelling. Your spelling's always really good on Facebook. I'm like, that's not me spelling. That's spell checker. That's predictive text. That's not me. You know, so and yeah, my handwriting, basically my baby niece has probably better handwriting than I do. You know, my baby niece, what, she's 2, I think. Yeah, I think she's around 2. So yeah, my baby niece, my 2-year-old baby niece, probably has better handwriting than me. I do get letters and numbers confused. So sometimes instead of writing an S, I'll write a 5. There are 5s in the middle of my sentences. I will write 9s as P's, P's as 9s. You know, I write 5s backwards, 3s backwards sometimes. I write 2s backwards. I write S's backwards. You know, it's all a jumble of what the heck. So yeah, that's the main things I struggle with, things like that. Reading, I can get a bit confused with reading. And as well, a lot of the issues with reading is down to my eyesight and the text. And it's not always, yeah, let's make the text bigger for you, then you can see it and you'll be able to read. Yay! No, it doesn't work like that. Making the text bigger doesn't always help. Sight issues are different. Yes, there are some people with sight issues that do need enlarged print, but some people do not. Sometimes I do. This print here, that's okay. I can read that, that's fine. Any smaller than that, I might struggle. But also, it's with me, it's more about the contrast. Usually, I'm better at reading a bold text. So, the bold text like that, I find that easier to read than that kind of text, because there it's pops on the page, you know. But yeah, I can get very confused, very forgetful. have a lot of issues. Don't get me started on mathematics. That's non-existent. I'm terrible at math. Don't even ask me about the times tables. I can basically add basic numbers together and take away basic. If it's rounded numbers, you know, like 10, 20, 30, easy, I can do that. But if you start throwing odd numbers at me and ask me to add them together, I cannot do that in my head. I need a calculator, you know. I cannot write down the sums. I get confused with that, you know. So that's how my learning difficulties affect me, you know. But society has that picture of someone with learning difficulties, you know, the picture, they see, you know, the Goonies, the, what's his name? I forget his name. But the big guy in the Goonies that was with the bad guys, but then befriends the kids, the good, you know, and yeah, I forget his name. But when they think of learning difficulties, that's what society pictures, you know, and learning difficulties isn't always like that. That's not, you know. Sometimes, yes, learning difficulties can come along with speech difficulties, which I do have speech difficulties, but I have learned to use them. Sometimes they affect me still, but I have learned how to talk properly. You know, I avoid words that trip me up, which, you know, sometimes I have to put on a bit of an accent to get certain words out. So that's why sometimes I sound a bit posh, apparently. So people have told me. So I have learned skills and behaviours to help me communicate, you know. So when I was younger, yeah, my speech was there, but I struggled. I did do some speech therapy and stuff, which was helpful. But yeah, most of the time they were like, oh, she'll grow out of it. Which, no, you do not grow out of disabilities. You learn coping mechanisms as you grow up dealing with these disabilities. You do not grow out of it. You do not grow out of autism. You learn coping mechanisms. You do not grow out of learning disabilities. You learn coping mechanisms. Okay, but yeah, so I've been chatting for ages now. Like, what does that say? 59 minutes? Oh, nearly an hour long. We have an hour long video. Yay, that's going to take ages to upload. I'm joking, no it won't. I have really good internet now, so it'll upload in a couple of minutes. Yeah, my internet, hyper optic. They're really good. I have really fast internet. And I'm paying £35 a month for 2 years, which is really good. And like super fast upload and download. I can have my games console, John's games console, my computer, John's computer, my phone, John's phone, all of that running on the internet at the same time, and we get no lag, nothing. It all runs smoothly. It's perfect. So I recommend hyperoptic if you're looking for new internet. But I'm going to shut up now because I've been gabbing on for ages. I do hope some of this information I have given you about the bus passes and stuff helps in some way. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.